just at that period when this country was regarded as the chief center of culture for all the three-brained beings of this peculiar planet of yours, then, for the first time, just such important beings from among the ordinary beings of most of the communities of the continent Asia assembled at the mentioned place with the aim of jointly drawing up a common agreement that there should never again arise among the different Asiatic communities any cause whatsoever for such processes of reciprocal destruction. This society of beings then had as their motto the following sentence: God is where man's blood is not shed. But owing to their various personal, egoistic, and vainglorious aims, the ordinary terrestrial, important and power-possessing beings who had then assembled very soon quarreled among themselves and went their ways home without accomplishing anything. Several centuries after the existence of Tikliamish, there again arose a similar society of beings there on the same continent, Asia, but this time on the country which was then called Mongol Planzura. This society existed there with the motto, "Love one another, and God will love you." And this society, having given no positive results for the same reason, ended its existence also in the same manner. Later they again formed such a society, but this time in the country which is today called Egypt. And this society began to exist there under the motto, "If you learn how to create a flea, only then dare you kill a man." Still later the same arose in the country Persia, where the following sentence was taken as the motto for this society of theirs: "All men are divine, but if only one is violently killed by another, then all will be as nothing." On this last occasion, which was quite recent, only about 4 or 5 of their centuries ago, such a society was formed also on the continent Asia in the city which it seems was called Mosulopolis. And at their arising, this society was called "The Earth is Equally Free for All." But when some dispute shortly afterwards arose among the members, they renamed their society, and it later ended its existence under the new name of "The Earth Must Be Only for Men." The members of this latter society, namely "The Earth is Equally Free for All," might perhaps have accomplished something effective, because in the first place, they had as the basis of their aims an actualizable program, and secondly, because they were all, without exception, old and honorable beings who had already had a great deal of experience during their planetary existence, and had in consequence become disillusioned about everything that their ordinary planetary existence could in general give them. And thanks to this, they had fewer egoistic, vain, and other properties on account of which similar societies there usually break down. Above all, from this society something effective might have resulted because there was not a single power-possessing being among them, since on account of their same egoistic and vainglorious aims, these beings sooner or later always dispatch all the accomplishments of any society whatsoever of a common planetary character of which they happen to be members, and moreover dispatch them with musical accompaniment, to the famous swine of our Mullah Nasruddin, which always gobble up everything without what are called parlor manners. These terrestrial power-possessing and important beings, particularly the contemporary ones, at times do not frustrate such national affairs from which they might expect considerable gain personally for themselves or for the beings of their own caste. From the tasks of such a society, good results might be obtained for all the beings of their planet without distinction of caste. But then, as soon as the affairs of this society begin to be somewhat difficult, or, as it is said, a crisis arises, these tasks instantly bore the terrestrial power-possessing beings. And even at the mention of them, or when by association they themselves remember about them, expressions of martyrdom immediately appear on their faces. And the reason why also nothing resulted from the labors of those beings who called their society the earth is equally free for all, although almost everything was done by them for this aim that was possible to do there in the conditions which almost always reign on this incomparable planet, I shall tell you a little later, and even rather in detail, because the information concerning the causes of the fall of just this society, which was formed by your favorites in their attempt to eradicate or at least to diminish this arch-criminal property which had been implanted in them, is once again very characteristic for your elucidation of the strangeness of their psyche in general, and at the same time this information will serve as material for the understanding to a certain extent of the chief objective causes why these terrifying processes of reciprocal destruction proceed among them. And now, as regards this contemporary society about which I spoke to you and told you that it was formed by the three-brained beings of your planet with the same aim of jointly elucidating and actualizing in practice corresponding measures for the total cessation on their planet of this terrifying process, and which contemporary society of theirs will be called, or is already called, the League of Nations, then if you wish to know my sincere opinion, I am more than sure that this time also nothing effective will come of it for two reasons. The first reason will become clear to you at the end of this tale of mine, and the second reason is that this property has already entered into the three-brained beings of that planet Earth, as is said, into their flesh and blood. And just as nothing could be accomplished by the beings of their planet of former epochs, who, becoming responsible beings, had even attained in respect of being at least to what is called self-remembering, then all the more nothing effective can be done, devised, or actualized by beings with that reason, which the beings of this contemporary society possess, and who in respect of being are only perfected to the degree which our dear Mullah Nasruddin defines by the notion expressed in the following words. Look, look, he already begins to distinguish Mama from Papa. Still, I must remark that these contemporary, important, and power-possessing beings, who are or will be members of this contemporary society, will achieve personally for themselves by this new contrivance of theirs one most formidable and most useful result. Namely, thanks to this official society of theirs, they will have still another, as it is said, very plausible excuse for drawing wool over the eyes of their what are called proprietresses, who are for these terrestrial contemporary power-possessing beings either their wife, mistress, mother-in-law, or finally the assistant in some large store, and so on. Whereupon, thanks to this new official society of theirs, they will have the opportunity of passing the time tranquilly among their friends, important and power-possessing beings like themselves. And at these official 5 o'clocks, which without doubt will be very often arranged ostensibly for affairs connected as it were with the aims of this